Oh boy. Hey YouTube. It's your fam. B3 back to another movie reaction review. I've reviewed every other Star Wars movie, so I'm doing Rise of Skywalker. And before I go into this, I want to say that I really liked this new trilogy so far. The Force Awakens was too much like A New Hope, to be completely honest, but I thought it was a very entertaining movie and I enjoyed it a lot. And The Last Jedi, I thought it was amazing, while almost everyone else I know hated it. And then all my friends saw Rise of Skywalker before me. Um, Coming right around the holidays makes it a little hard to go see it the day it comes out, because family and stuff. And I went to see it, and then I didn't like it. My friends all liked this one, and I didn't. What's wrong with me? So let's just jump straight into it. There's like a bit of story missing straight off from the beginning. One, okay, so it's gotten to the point. I know that the opening story credit roll thing in Star Wars is iconic or whatever, but it's really dated and it's kind of lazy storytelling at this point. I don't think we need it anymore. Y'all are gonna think I'm a nerd traitor for saying that, but it's true, especially in this movie, because they're like, oh, instead of just telling the story about Palpatine, well, within the movie or something, we'll just do it in the opening role and then start the movie off feeling like you've missed a whole section of story between the films. And I do like to read Star Wars comics, and I love to read Star Wars novels, okay? I haven't read a lot in recent years because I kind of got pissed at the continuity reset after I'd bought and read so many. Uh, but the thing is, if you want to tell the story about the signal from Palpatine and stuff in like the comics or in books or something, that's fine, I guess. But here's the thing about that. The average moviegoer isn't going to read those supplemental materials. Okay? They're just not. Um, and so they're going to be missing out on part of the story. They really are. They're going to be missing out. And it's just not cool. It's just not cool. Because I didn't read any, and I just felt like something was missing. And then the opening scene is terrible. Like, it's actually bad. It's really bad. For several reasons. And here's the thing about Palpatine. Why did he need to be in the movie? Oh, he needed to be in the movie because Rey is a... Okay. Spoilers from this point onward. Because Rey is a Palpatine. Why did Rey need to be a Palpatine? She didn't. I actually thought Rey's parents selling her for drinking money was more interesting than her being a Palpatine. To be completely honest. It gave her more character depth. The Palpatine thing is... It's a twist it's literally a twist we've seen before. Palpatine's your grandfather is basically the same twist as Darth Vader is your father. Isn't it? And it's like Palpatine didn't need to be in the movie. Palpatine's in the movie for two reasons. One, fan service. This movie is almost entirely fan service. It follows a lot of beats from Return of the Jedi, a lot of them. It returns legacy characters. Like Billy D. Williams showing up was fine because he didn't do a lot, and that was like a fun kind of cameo. Palpatine is fan service as a major story element. And it's like, no. Because, okay, so in this movie, I think it was pretty obvious to almost everybody that Kylo Ren was going to be redeemed. Of course. Of jorts. Absolutely of jorts. But I feel like the writers were like, oh, this is reason number 2, by the way. Oh, If he's redeemed, we don't have anyone for him and Rey to fight. So we need a big Sith Lord. So let's bring Palpatine back because the angry fanboys won't cry about that. And so they did that, but there was a villain for Rey and Kylo to fight. Hux. Now, I know you guys heard that and were like, you're fucking stupid. Hux isn't a Force user. He's not a dark sider. How did Hux stand a chance? Hux plotting from the inside to take over Kylo Ren makes more sense than Hux being a straight up traitor because he's pissed at Kylo Ren. So Hux keeps a close eye on Kylo Ren, exploits his weaknesses with his conflict, takes over the First Order, right? Then uses the Knights of Ren, who are basically not characters at all, as his sword to fight Rey and Kylo. And then he's just kind of sitting on the throne. Because you remember, Palpatine wasn't much of a physical threat in Return of the Jedi, right? He just kind of sat on the throne while Darth Vader did the sword work. And then, of course, he did zap Luke in the end, but that wasn't anything super fancy, right? So, and that only really happened so that Darth Vader could turn good. So, Hux could have been a throne room guy, dictating the stuff for the attack, and then Rey and Kylo could have fought the Knights of Ren. Knights of Ren could have been so much cooler. Knights of Ren could have been a bigger threat to Kylo and Rey if they fought them together. If the Knights of Ren were greater in number instead of there being like 5 of them or something, and also had lightsabers or something like that, vibro blades or whatever the hell. Just give them lightsabers, and then you can have your big lightsaber final battle. You can. Also, the final battle between Force users in the end of this movie wasn't good. Palpatine zapped Rey, and then she walked forward, and then it was done. That was the fight. And I know it wasn't about the fight. It was about Rey feeling conflicted and Kylo getting redeemed, etc., etc. But we all kind of wanted to see that final lightsaber fight. Let's not sit here and pretend we didn't. I did like the final ship fight. To be completely honest, though, I thought the entire galaxy showing up to fight against the Final Order. It was dumb renaming them to the Final Order. By the way, there was no point in that at all. They were like, oh, First Order, fuck it, Palpatine's back, we'll call it something different. Fuck off. This movie, they were like, oh, little tiny dicked fanboys didn't like The Last Jedi because it wasn't the same as the movie from their childhood. So let's walk back some major plot points from the last movie and then make the entire thing fan service so that little fanboys won't whine. I know a lot of people didn't like The Last Jedi, and their reasons for it are often dumb. Like, one person I know didn't like well, not one person I know, but a lot of people I saw on the internet didn't like The Last Jedi because they said there were too many women in it. Boo you, by the way. That's probably one reason Rose didn't have a super major part. And to be honest, in The Last Jedi, I didn't like or dislike Rose. She just kind of felt like she was there. She didn't make much of an impression. But I didn't think she was a bad character either. But in this movie, they were like, no more Rose. None. They caved. The studio absolutely 100% caved. They caved. They gave in to the fanboys. If they would have let the fanboys write this movie 100%, Luke probably would have been the one to fight Palpatine in the end. But at least we got Rey. And there were many cool parts. I thought I thought the Force Vision stuff was really cool. The Force connection between Kylo and Rey was like really cool in the Last Jedi, and it was still cool in this movie how they can like trade things in the Force Vision to each other's physical locations. That's really cool. We get some of the strongest Force feats we've ever seen on film in this movie from Rey, Kylo, and Palpatine. Palpatine only has these Force abilities because he kind of sucked them out of Rey and Kylo. You notice he can't really do anything until he does that. But where did he get that Force ability? Like, that's pretty crazy itself. To be able to suck the Force out of other people? Wild. And then Kylo and Rey just do some crazy things with the Force in this movie, like some really crazy things. And I thought that was kind of cool. But my favorite part of the movie, my absolute favorite part, was the special effects. Not only was the CGI good, but there were a ton of practical effects. And if you've watched pretty much any of my movie reaction reviews, you know that I'm a practical effects junkie. Stan Winston, Cronenberg, practical effects are my life. And there were a lot of practical effects in Force Awakens when J.J. Abrams did that, but this movie had like practical effects out the wazoo. Like, it was almost more practical effects than CGI, which is insane in a modern blockbuster. Aliens were were people like in costumes or big puppets, and they looked great. They were magnificent practical effects that the Star Wars franchise is honestly known for. I think it's really funny how the Star Wars franchise is known for shitty CGI and amazing practical effects simultaneously, because we had great practical effects in the original trilogy, and then which is known for great practical effects, and then we have the prequel trilogy, which is known for being a CGI fuckfest. Wow. Just wow. But I have many complaints about this movie, but I've already been doing this for over 12 minutes, so I'm going to wrap it up. My major complaint is that it's almost entirely fan service. This movie is almost entirely for people who did not like The Last Jedi. They rolled back Last Jedi plot points. They just gave in to the fans who wanted Rey to be something. She didn't need to be anything. We've had many Force users who were just strong Force users because they were born that way, or the Force chose them, or something. That's not unusual. You know? Not everyone has to be a legacy character. And it was, I'll admit, Rey taking the Skywalker name at the end of the film actually was nice. I expected that the entire movie, to be completely honest. But it's all fan service. The whole movie's just fan service. So if you're a Limp Dick fanboy who doesn't like any movie that isn't exactly like the original trilogy, you'll probably like it. And you might like it even if you're not like that. But once you recognize that it's all fan service and that they weren't focused on plot or character, once you realize they're entirely focused on just nostalgia boners and not telling as compelling of a story as they could have, then it really just ruins the movie for you. And I'm sorry if I did ruin the movie for you. If you enjoyed the movie, it's fine. It really is. I'm not trying to be too much of a bitch here, and I'm going to get a lot of hate, because no matter what's your opinion on Star Wars, you're going to get hate. You are. But that's it. Thank you all very much for your support. Remember to rate, comment, subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below. That's it. That's just it. I'm really pissed. Make sure to subscribe to my audio drama, Toku King. Toku King! And that's all I have to say. The movie was bad. It was bad. I'm sorry. Bye.